What's going on, y'all, man? So Mel Kiper came out with a top 10 QBs for the 2025 NFL Draft currently right now. So it's Mel Kiper per ESPN, man. So this is his top 10. Shedeur Sanders, Carson Beck, Quinn Ewers, Cam Ward, Jalen Milroe, Drew Aller, Jackson Dart, Garrett Nussmeier, Miller Moss, Will Howard. Now, I'll be honest, it's a pretty solid list for the most part. I would change a couple things around here, tweak a couple things. I would put Cam Ward probably above Quinn Ewers. Carson Beck at 2. I mean, that game against, Alabama, he showed a little bit of everything. You know what I'm saying? He showed his ability to, he had some bad interceptions, didn't get going into the second half, but he showed some resolve and that he can battle through adversity. He was making some throws to kind of show like, hey, man, I'm a top player and I'm one of the best players in college football. So the thing is, though, they're going to need that, more consistently, especially in big games like that, and you're going to see that in the college football playoff, so he's definitely going to have to perform better earlier in the game. But him at number 2, I guess I agree with that one. I'm going to put Cam Ward above Quinn Ewers. And I know Cam Ward hasn't played necessarily on that big stage like Quinn Ewers did, like last year, playing the college football playoff semifinal. But I think this year with Miami, I think he's going to have that chance and opportunity. And same thing, he had kind of the same week as Carson Beck, but he was able to, pull off the victory. But didn't have a good game. Had 3 turnovers, 2 interceptions, 1 nearly a pick six, and obviously a fumble. But same thing as Carson Beck did. Showed resolve, battled through adversity, had made some big plays, made some critical throws in that game, and was able to come up big time for his team. And that's really what you want to see because it's not going to always be pretty. It's not going to be sunshine and rainbows all the time. You're going to need your quarterback to make throws and make plays, and I feel like Carson Beck and Cam Ward both did that. Now, I like Quinn Ewers as well. This is not a knock on him. I think he's the top 5 in this class. I just kind of prefer Cam Ward, been able to see him a little bit more. Quinn Ewers has been dealing with that oblique injury. He's supposed to be back this upcoming week. He's missed 3 weeks. But he's a very talented quarterback. When you can go into Michigan and beat them in that hostile environment, that says a lot about you. I think, too, Jalen Milroe is a little too low. His passing has gotten a lot better. I think his decision-making is a lot better. He doesn't just always depend on his athleticism. Yes, is it there for Jalen Milroe? Sure. I know a lot of people are going to be like, well, can he make the throws? I feel like this year he's proven everybody wrong. He's not an athlete. He can actually make the throws, and he's dangerous in the open field. Tough to bring down. I would say Jalen Milroe is like a baby Cam. Like with his ability, height, speed, reminds you a lot of Cam Newton when he was at Auburn. Milroe is that elite, that good. So I think Milroe is a little low at 5. I would put him at number 4. Y'all probably ask me, who would you replace? Maybe Quinn Ewers, potentially. But let's see how the year plays out first. Let's see what Alabama can do. But he showed you in that game how he lit up Georgia for 200 yards through the air and 100 yards on the ground, how elite he was. And he dominated that first half of the game against an elite defense. Again, elite. All right, next you have Drew Aller. I'm not the highest on him. They struggled a lot against Illinois this past week. I know he's been having a pretty good season, but same thing. That's how I feel about Big Ten. Like, I'm not going to – I have to wait to see them play comparable opponents. Like, when they go play Ohio State or Michigan, like, these teams they playing that aren't comparable or not having good years, I can't compare that. Now, Illinois is a good team. That's not a knock on Illinois. They are a pretty good football team. But for the most – but outside of Illinois, who has Penn State really played? It's been a cupcake schedule. Let's be honest. I want to see him in the limelight, like we seen obviously with Carson Beck, Quinn Ewers, and then obviously Shedeur Sanders. That is what I want to see. All right, next Jackson Dart. Now he struggled, man. Kentucky, they the real deal. Again, one of those big games he struggled in. Again, it's going to be a tough road for Ole Miss. They're going to practically have to win out. It might can go one more loss, but practically have to win out. Same thing with Jackson Dart, right? Good quarterback. Lane Kiffin's your head coach, but can you win the big game? We haven't seen that. Last year they won 10 games. He has a good processing, but they struggle, man. He's missing on some short intermediate throws. Dart got to be better, man, especially in the game. That was a game they're supposed to win, and they get Kentucky the first win at Ole Miss since 1978. Got to be better. And then at 8, Garrett Nussmeier, I love his upside. If I was him, I wouldn't go in this draft. I would wait another year, man, because I like the way he's performed. I feel like he's gotten better and better each game. And I think he could potentially be a top pick going in 2026. So if I was him, I wouldn't go right now. Same thing with Miller Moss. He's shown potential. He's shown flashes, I would say. Some games he's looked good. Some games he's looked bad, right? Game against Michigan, not his best afternoon, right? Had that pick 6. Same thing against Wisconsin in that first half of that game. Didn't look too good, but then they turned it on. Turned 28 unanswered. So same thing. I feel like he has potential. Can he put it all together you know what I'm saying, in one full game against a really good opponent. So, got potential. Got to wait and see. And then Will Howard, you know, they got a whole bunch of weapons. Emeka Ibuka, Jeremiah Smith's been tearing it up. Quishon Judkins, Trevion Henderson. Like, they got a lot of weapons. Will Howard, kind of how I feel about Drew Allen. I'm not the highest on him. I think he's a competent quarterback. But is he somebody that's going to wow you? Is he somebody when you go to the league, he can uplift the team? I'm going to say no. You know what I'm saying? You have to have a good team around him. It is what it is. It's unfortunate, but that's what it is. I feel like Shedeur, Cam Ward, Milroe, Ewers, Beck, I feel like that top 5 could potentially win with not having maybe the best weapons at their disposal. In my humble opinion, that's what I think. But y'all let me know down below. Do you agree with Mel Kiper? Is this a good list, this top 10 right here? And how would you rank it if you were a draft expert? Let me know in the comments below.